You know, people that know me know that on Sunday mornings, I come to church like super early, like 4:30 in the morning. And sometimes people find that out and they're like, why in the heck would you come to church so early? Well, there's a bit of a precedent behind it. And it goes back to like when I first started doing music at Kauai Christian Fellowship back in like 1992 at Rainbow Plaza. You know, we shared everything with every ministry. So the main room that we met in on Sunday morning and all the equipment was also used during the week by the youth groups. And what I began to discover was you better get to church early to find out and make sure everything was there. Like one of the first things that happened was we used to use a overhead projector. Some of you youngsters won't know what that is, but you know, where you had the plastic sheets on it. And I showed up one Sunday and there's no overhead projector, and Monica, our secretary, said, oh yeah, the youth guys took it to camp. So for worship that morning, I had to sort of lead everybody like, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad. And we did that for 5 songs. So then we decided, and by the way, it took elder approval. We had to spend like, an extra $100. And we didn't have any money back then to approve the purchase of a second projector so the kids, when they went to camp, they could have a projector at camp and we'd have one down below. Which went great until the first Sunday I showed up when there was a teen camp going on, and I said, well, we have a projector, but where's the slides? And Monica again said, oh, they must have taken them to camp. And so she said, but we have blanks. So I had to hand write all the songs real quickly, like in 5 minutes. Lord, I lift your name on high, onto these. It must have looked horrible. People visiting that day must have thought, what kind of janky church is this? But the all-time best one was one time I showed up, and by now I was on it. You know, I was showing up a little bit earlier. You know, church started at 7. At 9. I would get there at 7. And I show up one morning at about 7 o'clock, and I walk in, I'm thinking, you know, something's wrong, something's not right. Then I realized, oh yeah, there's no sound system. And like, you know, a sound system, we had a big, you know, mixing board, giant speakers. It's gone. So I call Rick, I thought we'd been robbed. We've been robbed, there's no sound system. And Rick goes, oh. You know, I think Robbie Keown's band had a concert last night. Try calling Gloria. So I call Gloria, you know, and this, by the way, is before cell phones. Imagine this, you know, 7, 4, 2, you know, meanwhile, I'm starting to freak out. Gloria answers, oh, good morning, you know, Dain, how are you? I go, hey, is Robbie there? And she goes, oh, he's here, but he's sleeping. And then I kind of lost it. I'm like, get Robbie on the phone right now, Gloria. And she goes, okay. She gets Robbie on. Hello? I go, Robbie, where's my sound system? He goes, oh, you know, Daniel was supposed to bring it back. You should call him. I go, no. And with all the Christian love and charity in my heart, I said, Robbie, you get me my sound system back here. Church starts in an hour and 15 minutes, and I want my sound system back, and I want it running in an hour and 15 minutes, or you're cabbage. And anyways, he did. He got us a sound system. By 9 o'clock, we were ready to go. Anyways, I'd love to tell you that the end of the story was eventually as we grew, the church, you know, the youth group became more responsible and learned how to return stuff. But no, that's not what happened. And we just bought them their own sound system. And then we put them up, you know, 50 yards away from the main church. And, you know, they don't ever borrow stuff anymore from us. But as I've discovered, I still get to church early. But, you know, usually I show up now and everything's in place, but I'm still always going to show up early just in case.